Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Sarah.
Thank you for joining us. So we've brought this baby to fruition, and I just thought it'd be lovely if we sat here in the chapel at the monastery, and just maybe you could share your experience.
Yeah, about the conception of
Yeah.
the baby.
Yeah, the conception.
Well, it actually, the book project started 2 years ago. David and I talked about just making it available for a broader. Some people just like having a book instead of going to teacher of teachers, and many people don't even know teacher of teachers. So we just felt the inspiration to make it available because it is just such a deep path. Actually, teacher of teachers is like a path. It's like when David started to work with his students many years ago, he recorded the sessions, and it was like he called it a spiritual psychotherapy. And that's what this book is. It's all those recordings that were transcribed and very thoroughly edited. I was part of that whole project too, and it's just helpful because it's things that people went through that are put down in this book that are helpful for everyone.
Yeah, you're watching live unraveling, unwinding.
Yeah,
you're reading it this time.
Yeah, and you recognize it from your own life, and it's the kind of universal questions that everyone is battling with at some point, and it's just really, really helpful.
The pacing of it too, because it's someone actually coming to the experience. Everything you need is contained within the conversation for the mind to come to it like at the same pace.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and it's a very gentle pace. It's not just beating over the head with the truth. It's actually gently leading the person through that person's own healing, and that's what's so beautiful about it.
Well, we've all used the actual teachings in this book ourselves, like over the last 6 to 8 years, and even before, but by other students. How have you found the experience of the way the teachings come in this book for yourself? Very powerful.
Yeah, I have lived those teachings. I've asked the same questions and practiced it. Practice. Very practical. So I found it very, very helpful to actually practice it and live it.
Yeah, I was putting out a post today, and I suddenly became aware that it addresses the 4th unanswered question. The whole book is almost set up to address because it's to look at it, do I want to see what I have denied, because it is the truth.
Exactly. Yeah.
And every page, you could just pick this up and you could go anywhere.
Yeah. It's like the Course in Miracles. It's the same because it's the same thing with that. It always points. It always redirects the mind, because all questions are just one question all the time, and it just needs a lot of ways to be answered.
Yeah, 528 pages of a way you could hear it again and again, and as many times as we need, with particular circumstances that we might make an exception to, for the complete transfer of training.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, transfer of training is one of the parts of the books as well.
Yeah.
I think it's the last part.
Yeah, unlearning the world is the first one.
Yeah.
And then the second one is...
No, the first one is undoing.
Undoing.
No.
Laying the foundation.
Laying the foundation. That's it.
It's so well laid in our mind.
Yeah.
We're totally about transfer of training now.
Yeah.
Laying the foundation, and then unlearning the world, and then transfer of training.
Yeah. And that is actually the steps the mind needs to go through. Laying the foundation is to understand the metaphysics. What is going on here? What is going on with the mind? What is going on in the world? Because for someone that is completely new to spirituality or metaphysics, this is actually a very helpful book. Because you lay the foundation, you get the understanding of how this universe came about, and the power of belief. All of that, and then you go into the unlearning of this world, which is the forgiveness process, and that we all have to go through so deeply, like everyone who came to this world needs to unlearn the world, because the world is just a projection. So it's also a beautiful stepping stone that this book will lead you through.
I remember when I first met David, and before I came here, I devoured that entire site, and you know, it had low audios and different things. So to have it so succinctly now, also with the ums and the ahs taken out, you know, just for it easily to flow in print form, it just feels like a huge gift. And I've been having this experience this summer. We're preparing for Strawberry, and every time Nikita's talking to someone, she's like, you know, they seem to have something deep coming up in their heart. And she's like, come to Strawberry. Like, that's the answer. I suddenly realized this morning, mine is, oh, you should just read this book.
Read the book.
You should just read this book. Because actually the questions that are coming towards me are exactly answered. And when we're joining with people, we're in the experience and we're just saying, just sink in here, and it's almost like a hand on the shoulder, and just and in the presence of it, you can just drop into it.
That's it.
And then if it persists, there's tools like this where you can really sit down and just, at whatever speed you need, actually not try and escape from the pain. Be like, just allow it, the attraction to it, or the guilt. Just not even beat yourself up for it, and just like this will keep pace with you.
Take your time. Take
your time. Like you said, no beating over the head with it. This is very much a gentle pathway, and that's the demonstration I've always felt from David.
It's very gentle, because there is a wisdom in that. Gentle is actually fast, you know, because it opens up the heart and the mind to really experience, you know, its own delusion and pain, so that it can be washed out. You have to fully see it. Why would you let go until you see it? If you think it's saving you and keeping you safe. It's impossible. That's the big trick, you know. That's that's why we want to get into unlearning the world, because it's all those, the protection of the lie, so to speak. The protection of the illusion is the only problem there is.
And that very much that sense of that it's only the self that's deceived. There isn't others or a world that's deceived. It's the self that's deceived. And is the only one believing the lie.
Exactly.
So it's I always think it's like hiding in plain sight. Like it's the admitting to yourself that it's.
So there is no time better used than sitting with that.
Absolutely.
Looking at the mind, reading this book or whatever tool is helpful. That's the way, really.
And it will release you in a way you never understood, because you can't be your own teacher, as the Course says. Resign now as your own teacher, and allow yourself to be unwound gently, is the quote from this Course. David uses the metaphor of like a rusty screw that's embedded. You can't just yank it out. That would, you know, that wouldn't be helpful. You just, it has to be slowly unscrewed from the world. That doesn't, of course, mean it has to happen long and over time either, because if you have the right tool, you know, it can be swift and easily.
With not so much damage.
You know, not so much wrenching.
We trust the movements and
and whatever's showing up in your life right in front of you, that is the way you can see these beliefs. So this book works with you exactly where you are. It doesn't ask you to be in a different situation. It says, well, this is where you believe you are today. We'll start right here. And then if any movements in the form are helpful, they become obvious to you, but it's the shift in the mind first that starts to unwind you. And the courage, I think, as well. The courage to believe that you're worthy of a different experience. That's actually the only place you need courage. Like, it's not in doing things or in form, it's really the courage to step up front and receive.
Be open to the mind to be changed for you.
Really. For you, yes. Literally is involuntary.
All that is required is our willingness, and that's, you know, can seem difficult to offer the willingness, but once we realize that, it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of cool, you know. I want that experience.
Yeah, it's this. The course says this is a course in mind training, and this is a book in practically applying the mind training of the course. Yeah. To be like a refined athlete, just kind of, you know, lean and agile and available in the mind to the miracle.
Yeah.
That's really what it's for. You want to get out of the flabby mind and just into the streamlined.
Stay open to the gifts.
Yeah. I have it in front of me every day.
So
it's
nice.
so gorgeous. Yeah.